You can't tell how someone feels just by looking at them or by what they share online. To the outside world, people's lives may look perfect, when in reality they aren't. 1 in 4 people in the world are affected by mental or neurological disorders at some point in their lives. Due to this fact, it is possible that individuals will either develop a mental health problem themselves or know someone who has. Recently, there has been news of a woman's body found at the bottom of Huntcliff in Saltburn. Many individuals like this woman have unfortunately took their lives via this cliff. Despite there being signs placed on the ground with quotes and helplines trying to help these hurting individuals, sometimes this is not enough. I spoke to Paul Waugh, a former Coast Guard who created these signs on the cliffs.
The reason I made the signs is because I walk around the cliff top a lot, and I used to be a Coast Guard a few years ago, so you see people on the top of the cliff and they always want to stand on the edge where it's crumbling away. And I was offered these slates, which are actually the signs now, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with them. And then I started putting danger cliff, crumbling edge, and God bless people who've fallen off the cliff, because as a Coast Guard I've recovered lots of people. Anyway, after so long, I started getting messages off people who'd gone up to commit suicide and seen my signs and changed their minds, and they'd message me and say, "Oh, thank you for looking after us or whatever, or thinking of us." So I started putting signs up with little sayings on, a bit of inspiration, if you know what I mean, and they can go up and actually look at the sign. And like I said, there's something nice on most of the signs, and they'd see them as well. And I think it must be about 7 or 8 that I know of that have stopped sort of committing suicide through obviously mental health. And then there's been a few more since then. So, and then I've stopped 16 jumping off over about a year. But the signs are absolutely, and everybody loves them. I mean, I've been walking. I walk every day, at different times a day. Don't spend a lot of time, but certain times I'll come up, and I've bumped into people from all over the world who've seen these signs and absolutely loved them, and even people from who run mental health charities or work in mental health have seen them and absolutely think they're brilliant. You know what I mean? So, and they have been chucked off a couple of times, and I've replaced them, and it's the best thing I've ever done. I think it's just absolutely brilliant, and they've done better. Like you say, originally it was just stop people going near the edge, but they've done so well, more than what I could ever think of.
When the COVID-19 pandemic took over the world earlier this year, it took a massive toll on individuals' mental healths. More than half of adults and over 2/3 of young people have said their mental health got worse during lockdown. This once busy and full of life campus is now one of a ghost town due to the majority of learning being moved online to try and slow down the spread of COVID-19. In teens and young adults, the main trigger to a poor mental state is academic failure and the stress of studying, but now having to deal with all of this whilst in a lockdown, students' mental healths are at an all-time low. I spoke to Alfie Lambert, a second-year sports journalism student, for his experience on this.
The lockdown has an effect on my mental health. I said I'm usually a mentally well person, but at times it has been hard, especially in normal times. I'm always out, sort of going out drinking, seeing my friends, going to the football, and having all of that taken away from you is obviously it's hard for everyone, but it does have a draining effect on your mental health. But I've been lucky being at uni, moving into my house, albeit the remote learning isn't as good as what it can be, and it sometimes is stressful, as you don't feel like you're taking as much in as when you're actually in uni. But it's been nice having the support of sort of my housemates, and there's been 7 of us, and it is hard when you're spending every minute of every day with them, but it is a lot better, and it sort of makes you feel like there's always someone there for you, and it takes away the feeling of loneliness, which I know that a lot of people have suffered with during this lockdown. So I know that in some ways I have been really lucky over lockdown, and that has really helped me with my mental health.
Please make sure you are checking up on your friends and family members even more so during these challenging times. For counselling or someone to talk to if you attend Teesside University, please email studentlife@tees.ac.uk, or alternatively, anyone can call the Good Samaritans on 116 123. Thanks for watching. I'm Amy Carter, reporting for TU Extra.